Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for another tutorial using Affinity Photo. For this one, we're going to zombify my son. We went to the county fair, he got his face painted, wanted to be a zombie. After a half a day of playing, this is all that's left. So, took a picture of him. I'm going to zombify him up a little bit, hopefully make him happy tomorrow when he wakes up. First thing we're going to do is add a new pixel layer, that way we can paint on it without painting on the original photo. If you want to, Control J, duplicate the original photo, that way if we do affect anything, we always have the original to fall back on. We're going to go to our paintbrush tool, go to our brushes, and we're going to select the first one under textures. All the paintbrushes we're using today come with the stock Affinity program. Go into color. Anytime you're doing horror or anything dark, drop the saturation down. Use a real dark color. Saturation is down to 31 right here. Trying to go with the green that I like. We'll go here and we'll just paint it on. This isn't going to be a super detailed, a super gory zombie. This is just going to be a quick, fun one. And look what I did right there. I painted on the background. So, Control Z, undo it. Make sure you have the pixel layer selected. And now we can paint on. What we're going to do here, we're going to change the blend mode from normal. We're going to go straight to overlay. We're just going to paint it on. Don't worry about going over the eye. We're going to mask that out here in a minute. Go over it. And I know overlay doesn't look anything special right now, but what we're going to do, hit Control J and duplicate it. And now from here, we can control how much we want that effect to take place. So the first layer is always going to be at 100% opacity. Second layer, you get to play around. You can have the full effect, or you can come down a little bit. I'm going to come down to about 40%. Select them both and hit Control G. And now it's grouped. So we can rename this skin. What I'm going to do now, because I don't want any really hard lines, I want this to blend pretty well together. I'm going to create a mask on that group. Go to my paintbrush tool again. Use the same paintbrush, and now we're going to go with black. And now we can paint it off. And control how it blends into his real skin. So I paint around the edge. If I hit X, I can paint that back in. But now I have a little bit more control over how far I want it to go out and how much I want it to blend in. Let's get a little bit more of the chin. And again, I'm not painting in any new paint into the pixel layer. I'm just hiding the paint that I already did in the mask and then bringing it back out. So with that mask on, or off, and then back on, I can control it a little bit more. I do want a little bit more up top. Not a whole lot. Alright. I like that for the skin. Let's add a new pixel layer. Paintbrush tool, brushes, color, we'll go with red. Drop the saturation down again and drop the luminosity, whatever, lightness, darkness. We're going to go right here. Let's go about right there. We're going to paint over his mouth, and we're going to go to overlay. Let's add a little bit of the blood to it. Drop it down a little bit. Too much. Too much. Don't really like it. Go select another brush. This is grunge pattern number 6. Same thing, let's drop it down to overlay, color. Drop the size down a little bit. Really be able to control that. So it looks alright. Even with the darker one, we can add a little bit more darkness to the blood around the mouth. But what we're going to do, we're going to create another layer. Not duplicate it, but just create a new pixel layer. Same thing, drop it to overlay, use that same color. 2 overlays on top. Can create a very good effect, especially when you're trying to get something to blend in with the skin. Looks good. I like it. Always use a little bit of dark color with the blood. And you can switch back and forth between layers over how dark you want it. Even adding some black into an overlay layer will bring out too much. Some of that color. Alright, select those two. Control G. Group. We're going to go blood mouth. New layer. Paintbrush. Let's go back to Grunge 1. So I like this. It really has a blood like splatter effect to it. Grunge 1 is really good for blood. Go back here, drop it up to red. This one I am going to bump up the saturation a little bit more because I do want the red in the eyes to pop out. Actually, I'm going to go up a little bit more. Now, if you ever want... I'll back up. Now, for the eyes, if you ever want like a bloodshot look in the eyes, don't sit there and just click and drag. It's just going to make it red. What we're actually going to do for the eyes is we're just going to click and click and click and click. We're not clicking and dragging. We're just going to click and really bring out that texture. And let the texture bring out the red in the eyes. Alright, we're going to go back to the skin layer, go to that mask. Here's where we're going to go back. Basic brush. Almost no hardness. We'll go 10%. I really don't want that texture to be in the eye. And because we're in a mask, if I go over the skin like I did, hit X, or nope, go to white. We can paint it back in. Alright, now go back to the eye. Blood layer. Blood. That looked really good right there in the corner. Remember, click. Don't drag. And you can be kind of dirty with the clicking. Kind of quick. Alright, looks good, but I want it to pop a little bit more. So, we're just going to hit Control J. And Control J again. And you'll just increase the density and saturation of the layers already selected. So we have 3 eye layers right there. And again, top layer, you can adjust to really have a little bit more control. You can do it to all 3 layers. But the top layer is usually the one that really controls more of it. If you want a little bit more, if not, delete it. Just have 2 layers. But I want it to pop. So we're going to drop them both down to, I'll go back to an overlay. Control J, let's add a 3rd layer. Really get that red to pop. Control G, group them. Eyes. Drop that down and paint a little bit more into it. No. Yeah, we're gonna add a HSL layer to this, because I think I do want it a little bit darker. So we're going to affect the reds, saturation up, brought the luminosity down. I just want a darker red. I'm going to paint over the right eye a little bit more. Looking good. Now we'll go back to the skin layer, get that mask, brush, go back to a basic brush, drop down the hardness 10%. I like sticking around 10. I don't like too soft, nothing too hard. We're going to go around and we're going to mask all the skin texture that got outside the skin. If you hold down space bar, you can drag through the picture. Hit X, make sure color goes back to white. And we can very finely paint that texture back in. Go back to our paintbrush tool. Go back, select our green again. Brush, texture. And we're going to paint in a little bit of his arm. I'll do his whole arm. Why not? Go over a little bit, and then just go back to your mask. Back to your basic brush. Tan. And then just mask out anything you did on the sleeve. If you're going to zombify anything, don't just focus on the face. Try to make the effect real by affecting more areas. And you know what? Let's go back one more time. Just one more time. And paint a little bit more on the face and the ear. There we go. My son is zombified. Hopefully he enjoys it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you for watching. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but hopefully I'll be getting back to it a little bit more. Again, this is just a rough, quick, and dirty zombie effect. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you.